I will.
I didn't hear from anyone saying they weren't attending. Just calling, will not be here.
Okay, Latanya, you're the host, and Aisha is the co-host, and the meeting is recording. And take it away. I'm gonna be muted, but I'm not gonna be at the computer.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I assume that Kate or Leanne may join us at some point.
Yeah, they're not on now.
Colleen won't be here today and has asked me to just. Good. So with that, like I said, I will call the meeting to order this time, so. Yes. Running to use.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, and thank you for your well wishes, and I greatly appreciated it. For the board director's report, I didn't have much to add. I just wanted you to be aware of some of the trainings that are being offered through MCLA. They're trying to include all the boards, the friends and CEO board members to kind of participate in training. So that's one of the trainings that's coming up about the SNAP benefits. And I also on the table left a meeting about the housing working group that's going to be at Town Hall. You can either join in person or by Zoom. And I know you saw the funding component.
Will that, sorry, I just lost it. Will that training be available later other than the 16th?
I can ask. They normally try to run it twice, but I can definitely ask that the monthly meeting. And that's it for me for now.
I am here to fill some big shoes tonight on behalf of the social work department. I'm going to give you the report for the past month for us. It has been a busy month. We have had about 526 encounters among the social work team. 413 we're saying are duplicated, unduplicated 113. Technically meaning we've served over 100 residents in town for the month of October. Some good news, Carrie Cusack, a social worker, is back from maternity leave. She joined us back at the end of October, and Jessica has left for maternity leave October 28th. We do have a new member of our family here, so everyone is doing well. We, as a team, met with a representative from BH&A architecture firm as part of the department focus group related to the space for social workers, which was really nice for us to be able to talk about how we're set up now, our wishes, and what would be most realistic for the team. We're continuing to maintain a wait list for short-term mental health counseling. We're taking on as many new clients as we can, both on the wait list and in person. I'm sure everyone knows the lack of available mental health clinicians is just, I think we can use the word crisis right now. So we are trying to serve as many people as we possibly can with a short-term 8-week bridge program. The social work team, we have hosted 2 more coffee hours, one being at the Linden Chambers property and one at the Seabeds property. This month, very happy to report there's a new resident service director with the Needham Housing Authority, and already seeing some really nice improvements and really looking for collaboration with us, which I think is really nice. So we plan to meet with her once a month as a social work team. And we're really already hearing from residents at housing that there's been parties, there's been better communication. So really nice to hear. We continue to meet as a team and independently with our clinical consultant, Rona, for clinical case consulting and training. We do also attend a monthly collaborative meeting that's facilitated by Rona with Youth and Family Services, where we, obviously de-identify cases, but really work together to try to help youth and Kath and how we can work together. Jessica Moss did facilitate a quarterly homeless prevention task force meeting with representatives from public health, police department, us, the hospital, and Needham Community Council. Next meeting will include an invitation to local clergy representatives, just so that we all can keep one another abreast of what's going on in the community. There seems to be a slight uptick of what we're hearing about homelessness in the communities. Jessica Rice facilitated the monthly caregiver support group, and I did facilitate the bereavement group. We actually are putting our bereavement group on pause because the traditional weekly bereavement group is now back in person. So we had started one monthly just because there was a real need for an in-person group to return. And now Nikki is back doing her weekly group. So people are very happy with that. Lastly, Jessica Moss attended a remote meeting hosted by Metro West Home Consortium regarding the development of its home ARP allocation program. This consortium includes the towns of Bedford, Belmont, Brookline, Concord, Framingham, Lexington, Natick, Needham, Newton, Sudbury, Waltham, Watertown, and Wayland. The meeting did focus on the availability of a one-time ARP fund to address housing concerns. I wish I could elaborate a little more on that, but I don't have any more information other than that, but we'll get more information. And that was us for the past month.
Do you have any additional information on the $1.3 million grant for elder mental health programs?
I do not, but certainly can get more information on that.
I can get more.
That goes across the state. Yeah.
It is across, yes, but I would be giving you wrong information if I elaborate, if I said anything else.
I agree, it is a crisis.
Yeah, it really is. It's a crisis. I know that too, the fuel assistance window just opened November 1, and certainly a lot of folks requesting appointments because as we know what's going on in the world and the cost of everything, I think we're seeing more and more people needing to apply for that program. So we're keeping busy.
Aisha?
Hi, everyone. How are you? So the good news is that we're getting very busy. Latanya and I joked today that the parking wars are back, so that's a good sign. We have quite a few new programs. We've been doing more drop-in games, which are bringing a lot of new faces to the center. We have Mahjong that's grown, Canasta, and Hand, Foot, and Mouth. They start out as lessons and then they evolve into immediate, intermediate, and then they can go all the way up to expert. We are seeing people from Wellesley, Dover, Newton. We've had a lot of, and as we're cashing checks, we're also noting a lot of out-of-towners are using our programming. Bingo is another one that is drawing new faces. It's very popular. We do it Wednesdays and Fridays. And it's going very well and it's bringing new faces. We all know that food makes people gather. So we have been trying to get people to come out and to be social. We're still finding that social isolation is a problem. It affects their mental health, their physical health. So we're doing lunch chat with Debbie, which has really grown. She's got a great group and a lot of them live alone and are becoming almost like a little family from it. We also had our out to dinner, which is the LGBTQIA community and any allies. We're also working with different departments and partners in town to do lunch and learns. Yesterday, we had a fabulous one about healthy aging in the brain with Wingate, and it was very well received, and we had a full room. For a while, no one was doing our Metro West Legal Clinic, and in the last 2 months, we have maxed it out and took up another spot. Our exercises are going great. I always brag about Sandy. She had 54 participants on Monday, and that's not her highest number. I don't know if any of you take her class, but she's got a real following, and her people pay because she tells them to. We have some new programs, Chair One Fitness and Mindful Living. They started off slow, but they're picking up. So people are starting to get to know their instructors and spreading the word and doing marketing on top of my newsletter and Jen's Compass. Word of mouth is really helping. And I hope you all like us on Facebook, because we've been really trying to push things and show our partners with whom we're working on Facebook. We had some fun and interesting programs. I don't know if any of you attended, but for Halloween, we had Lizzie Borden actor portrayal skit, which I received rave reviews about. We went to Baja, Mexico with Joy. Everybody loves Joy. We had a fashion show about the Downton Abbey clothing, and during that era, what things look like. And another fan favorite, Frank King. And these have been filling the big room once again. Sadly, we lost our veterans agent with short notice, but we transitioned quickly. I got contacts at the state level, and I've been sending any requests or needs directly to them, and they've been wonderfully supportive. One of the people there is a Needham resident and was Needham's veteran agent for years. I don't know if any of you have heard about our balance assessment and the shredding that we're doing. This has been great to get people through our door who otherwise may not. The balance assessment is filling, and anyone that works the front desk, Sandra, knows how busy the shredding is. And I want to give a shout out to the front desk for keeping up with the shredding, the calls, and the guests. We hired a new van driver who was a volunteer for years with us, Deb Marcus. And we're trying to add more trips, and we are working on a schedule to add shopping to Trader Joe's. So be on the lookout for that in the next month. And then, as you can see in my notes, I just brag about our programming staff and transportation, and Tom in the kitchen. And I just say we have been tracking our numbers for all our programming, because we don't trust my senior center that much and people don't check in. So Kippy on a daily occasion touches base with our instructors, and we update that. So if anyone wants to see the facts about that, I'm happy to send them to you. And that's it. Today was one of the busiest days we've had at the center. And it was really good to see. And I also, about new faces getting in, Shine is killing it with open enrollment, and it's been going so smoothly. We've had new faces. People are walking in that are wowed by the space and how courteous and helpful everyone is. So I've gotten a lot of compliments at the front desk about that. So way to go, Michelle and Amy.
Awesome. Yes.
And if anyone has any questions, just let me know.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm up next.
Michelle from Shine.
Oh, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. I'll just give a very brief update on what's going on with Shine. I know we have one of our stellar counselors there in the room, Dan Goldberg, who was just counseling with us this morning. We are very busy with Shine, and obviously we are in the throes of open enrollment. As Aisha said, there's a lot of folks coming in for appointments. We started off open enrollment offering about 600 appointments here in Needham. I think that number is probably up to about 650 now because we've been trying to add in some more appointments. A lot of those appointments are taking place in the computer room, where we're running about 4 appointments concurrently in the computer room on Mondays and Thursdays. So those are our super busy days in Needham. And we've got counselors downstairs in the counseling office, the Shine counseling office, 5 days a week as well. So we are keeping really busy with open enrollment, but I would say that things are going fairly well. We are seeing some of our other sites within the region fill up already. So Framingham is already full. Newton is already full. Waltham, Watertown are all already full. So a lot of that overflow ends up coming to Needham, where we have a lot of the appointments centralized. So we're booking right now through the end of November, which gives us only basically 1 week left of appointments, and open enrollment ends on December 7th. So we will pretty soon be full up for appointments here in Needham, but we're trying to hold out as long as we can to help as many people as possible. So we are extremely grateful to all of the staff at CAF for helping to make this possible, and a huge shout out to Annie, who has been doing all the scheduling for Shine. We are incredibly grateful for her professional, thoughtful, kind, and just she has not been at all daunted by the volume of calls that have been coming in for Shine. So we're extremely grateful for her help to make this run smoothly. But otherwise, things are going very, very well for Shine, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has about Shine. If not, I will excuse myself. But like I said, happy to answer any questions now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Michelle, what we're seeing, we're getting a lot of people I saw 3 people today, one group from Waltham, one from Newton, one from Brookline, because they couldn't get appointments in their town, and it brings them to the center and they're wowed when they get it.
No.
It's really great.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I'm all
Time to
set.
look at the minutes.
Yes.
Okay. We had delayed the approval or discussion of the September minutes, and I understanding is that they've been revised. Does anybody have any questions about them? Anything that we need to resolve? Before we take them? No? Yes? Right. I need a motion to approve these minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Can someone give me a motion to approve these minutes?
It wasn't the meeting, so I can't. I don't know.
Thank you. Will someone second it? Second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have the meeting. Minutes from the meeting. So once again, does anybody have any questions?
No question. I apologize because I made one error and I didn't catch it until tonight.
Mhm.
The date for the housing plan working group community meeting, I had mistakenly set it to the 17th and it's actually the 16th of November. So I hope we can approve it with that one tiny little correction.
I make a motion that we approve those minutes. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next governance, Colleen did want me to tell you that at the last meeting, the board recommended that in regard to the Avery project, that she write a letter. And she did write that letter, and she got their notification they received it. But the thing is that the request of Balfour, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
This is not going to be reviewed by the planning board this month, it's coming month, and we suspect not next month either, so there's been that delay. I don't know if anyone else was on the planning board.
No, it looks like Balfour is revising their plan for Avery
That's
because of all the objections, and that probably will take a few months.
yes, and that's what Colleen said as well. And they also, I was on, I zoomed into the planning board meeting, and although I thought I was gonna hear about the Avery project, I heard a lot about marijuana. So it was interesting, but not relevant to what I thought I was gonna do. I figured sometime maybe optimistically.
Now, that's good news.
Yeah, probably.
That's all I had from Colin. I have. Does anybody else?
I want to go by, Belco is building a project in Brookline in Fisher Hill where the college closed.
Yeah.
And that does have independent living in it.
Is it the Fisher Hill where they built those huge condos?
No, it's where the college was. Newbury College?
Newbury, yeah.
Do they have?
That's
those?
interesting.
Mhm.
They're, I think they're under construction, I'm not sure, but I know it's all approved and.
I think it was made abundantly clear to them that people weren't happy, that there was no independent living in that kind of roads.
I think that was a good
It was
reaction.
made pretty obvious that it wasn't probably gonna go anywhere without independent.
Yeah, and Colin apologized, she didn't get to send us all a copy of the letter, but she said she would, so we'll all be able to see. It. And we accurately reflect our own. I like that.
Okay, so really just, thank you for providing this. I'm delighted to see this, flyer for the Housing Plan Working Group's community meeting, which is Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, November 16th in Powers Hall. It's also via Zoom. So I encourage everyone to attend if you're available, 7 p.m. And then folks will have, so this will be a presentation of the draft plan of the recommendations from our group. And then community members have the opportunity to respond in writing until Wednesday, November 23rd. And we will be working on it after that.
Question? Ed?
I've got a few things here to pass along, a little bit of an update too. At the last meeting, I had mentioned this law that was passed in the state of Massachusetts. The governor signed it in 2008, directing the different towns to establish a veterans parking space, one veterans parking space at the town halls. I mentioned it at the last meeting, and Colleen kind of mentioned the fact that, well, it should be more so recommended or proposed or directed, suggested by a veterans organization. If in fact it is, she would look to support it as such. So what I did is I happened to recently at our last VFW meeting, I sat with the commander, the VFW post commander here in Needham, who is also a Needham cop, and made him aware of that. He was kind of surprised, which doesn't surprise me because a lot of people never know what is approved at the State House. But anyway, that was 2018, it's now 2022, but I made him aware of that, what it is. He's totally behind it to support. He says the entire post would look to support it. So with that in mind, what I'm going to look to do is look to prepare some kind of a little package, a little write-up, a little description of the law. The fact that also the Council on Aging Board was looking to recommend this proposal as well, if it is put forth by the VFW. So I will look to do that, not within a day or two, but it'll take a while, because we're kind of busy. But I just wanted to pass that along, that it's not necessarily a forgotten or a dead issue. And we'll look to go somewhere with it. Hopefully it materializes, because Needham doesn't have it, but surrounding towns have. And if you go on the different websites for the different towns, you can see the pictures of how they're dedicating this, and they're doing it for whatever reason they're doing it for, whether it's for the veterans or politically motivated, one way or the other. But there will be more along on that. The other thing that I wanted to mention also is I happened to notice December is coming up. I happened to notice in last year's Compass, in the December date, it was specifically November, December Compass 2021, the annual police holiday dinner The only reason I bring this up is because it was taking place at our VFW post. So it was Sunday, December 5th, 12:30. Police department is basically spoiling us, the seniors, basically, as for the seniors in the town, spoiling us with their annual dinner. No cost for the dinner. All people have to do is, like it was in a Compass, register with the front desk. It's now 2022, it's November, the November-December Compass came out, but I didn't see anything in it relative to that. So I guess big question mark, is it forgotten? Is it something that nobody really wanted? I mean, it's an annual, it says annual by the police department, so.
Is the police department, I'm sorry, the police department sponsoring the same event this year?
Well, I don't know if they are. I don't know
We
who
haven't-
contacts them. I don't know if they contact the senior center.
We haven't gotten any information about it. I can ask Aisha about it. Normally, when they notify us, we put something in the Compass and she'll put it in the highlights. As of today, I haven't received anything. I can ask her.
So they usually contact you.
Yes.
You know, yeah, well, it seems like it's an annual event, so I would have thought that they would have probably followed up, but for some reason, it looks like there's a gap in the communication there or
So
something.
could you just not call the police department and find out if this?
That's a possibility, but sometimes when you call organizations like I have, you just get a recorded message and you leave a phone number and a name and nothing ever happens beyond that. But that's an option too, and I think I might even run it by our post commander, who is also a Needham police officer. So maybe he may know from within the organization.
Tell you who to call.
The other item I wanted to pass along as well is an update on our so-called flag recycling bin issue and our burning of the US flags appropriately. I was in contact with the DPW department by phone, by email. They had a series of questions. I responded back on the 25th of October with an email back, send it back to Greg Smith, who is the superintendent at the Needham DPW, the RTS superintendent. His name was on the email, as well as 5 others from within the town, as well as a few of us from the VFW that are involved in the so-called flag recycling and burning would be involved in that. It is now November 10th. Haven't gotten an email back from anybody, no replies of any kind. So I don't know whether that takes another set of emails or whether it takes a drive over to the town DPW site to see somebody, to see this fellow there, but it's something that was proposed by the recycling center. I guess people have been asking, what do you do with the American flags when they're tarnished? Where do we get rid of them? So they proposed this recycling bin, which looked like a US Post Office box, all painted white. They were going to have one at the RTS station. They were going to give us one to use at the VFW. And at the same time, I was proposed here one time, I said, well, when all that takes effect, maybe we even have a little box downstairs in the lobby that folks can drop off tarnished, ruined US flags so they can get disposed of appropriately. And we even, they asked about burning them, and one suggestion was do it on Flag Day at the Needham RTS station. We even have people from the VFW would volunteer, even Boy Scouts would look to participate. So that's another one with a big question mark so far. The other thing that was also mentioned, I know the VSO service officer and Aisha mentioned that who to contact at the state. That's all well and good. I just hope that the surrounding towns are in the process of trying to hire somebody, because you can work with the person from the state, and I've worked with that person when they were here in Needham at the time. Excellent, outstanding person. But it's not like having somebody that only specifically directs their efforts to the local towns that they service, Needham, Wellesley, Weston, Sudbury, and making them aware of things that they can check within the town itself as to why things aren't moving forward, and check on stuff within the system. So hopefully somewhere along the line, everyone is moving forward to look to get somebody on board. So basically, as far as that goes, I think that's the limit of the issues that I had for this time as issues and updates.
Thank you. Any questions? Please. You have anything? We're gonna have a gathering for the staff in January, just to celebrate the wonderful job that they've done. And maybe to honor them, yes. Oh, that's right. It's been amazing.
Very good.
Yes.
They've done a wonderful job. We're waiting for changes after the holidays.
Yeah. Otherwise, everybody's so busy that.
Yeah. I think Jay, we're looking at something to do. I don't know where it is.
It's right here. I just didn't want to walk in front of.
Okay.
I can do it.
Pass it
Okay.
pass it back, yeah.
Okay. While people were speaking.
Old business,
I'd like to just mention one thing. Actually, I'm sorry, two things. Number one, I should have mentioned during the housing plan report that please, I encourage you all to come, but as well, please help spread the word about that.
Mhm.
And the second thing, I just want to take a moment to sort of express gratitude and reflect on last month's board meeting where we had that space study presentation, because I left here I came in kind of wondering, like, this is such a new building, why are we doing this? And then I was so impressed and thankful and grateful that folks, the leadership was determined to be proactive and to say, look, we need to be thinking ahead and working for the future. So thank you to everybody who was involved in really initiating that study and getting the ball rolling, because I think it's super important and I'm very grateful. So for my two things.
I personally want to thank you for the exchange. Who books and I'm excited to actually had 2 items in my house 6 that I'm much appreciative.
Yeah, we had a lot of feedback.
Very much. So I don't know if other people have.
Yes, we got a lot of good feedback about the Exchange Club, and we're going to be continuing the partnership to kind of come up with some more those type of projects. So it was.
Get the Rotary Club too.
Okay, we won't.
Share the wealth.
Yes, we definitely, the partnerships are great, so we will continue that.
Highlight of my week.
I also want to put a plug in too, when if you redo out here, don't forget the grill that's out there.
Oh,
Don't
yes.
let them Cover that up.
New business. That you have? Anybody?
The only thing I want to share, I know some of you all may know that the Thanksgiving dinner here is on the 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we have 90 people signed up already, so 100 now, okay.
And the community council has 320 signed up for their delivered dinner. So far, they're gonna cap it at 350.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested.
It's
Call
interesting how the food does attract.
Yeah.
It does.
In Watertown, where they have no space, they have a grab and go day, and they have it packed and people come in, get it and go. And so they have to deal with people who want to like, get one for free, so, but they just live it.
If there's no other business, I'd like to move to adjourn.
I'll move it.
All in favor?
Thank you, everyone. And Ted, happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Happy Veterans Day.
Big event tomorrow, 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.